Welcome to the Delight Your Marriage podcast. You're joining me, Belah Rose, as I dive deep into the beauty, power, and truths about intimacy. Learn not only the practicals, but the heart behind what making love is all about. Delight your marriage. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I first off want to say that if you're a husband listening, maybe you clicked on this because you have been round and round and round the cycle of porn addiction. And maybe you've had some really, good weeks and maybe it's just over and over and over again, it comes back. I just want you to know my heart goes out to you. My heart goes out to you because it's a terrible struggle. It's sad. It is one you can overcome. It is one you can overcome. And it is absolutely required. It must be overcome for your wife. It must be. It absolutely must be. There's hope for you. And this gentleman found it through our program. More than that, which I'd love for you to listen in, but I just want you to know there's hope for you. First of all, it must be overcome. You must get totally free of this. And you can. You can. I dealt with it as a young person. By God's grace, I have total freedom. Many men in this program have total freedom. It's astounding. And this gentleman actually moved on for the program years later. He's still, or I guess a year and a half later, something like that, 2021. He's still gotten freedom. Praise the Lord. So this might be your next step. And if it is, go to delightyourmarriage.com/cc. It's an easy click. It's an easy schedule. It could change your life. It's worth the risk. I invite you to take that first step. delightyourmarriage.com/cc. Get on a clarity call with Dana and process all the stuff. It's a wonderful process. It's worth it. It's worth it to stand up and do it. But before before any more ado, right? What does that mean? I don't know what that means, but I think you understand. The point is, let's get into the program. Let's get into this podcast episode. I think it's going to bless you and encourage you. Oh my goodness, Taylor. Thank you so much for doing this. I'm really excited because maybe we'll just start off. I would love for you to introduce yourself, but then also when you came to Delight Your Marriage and kind of how you did. So if you could just start off, Taylor, little introduction and tell us who you are.
Yeah, my name is Taylor. I've been married I just had my 12-year anniversary this weekend, so that was awesome. I kind of, and I've been in church my entire life. I've been a Christian my entire life. But I think, just kind of like with church, they really don't talk about kind of the stuff that you talk about, which is sad that they don't. So, I mean, just kind of like everybody that's found you, just kind of through podcasts, and I've just kind of stumbled across yours. But I think yours is the only one that really kind of speaks to like a man's heart on like really specific subjects. And then just kind of the tools that I need to kind of be successful as a husband, as a Christian, as a parent. So it was just kind of, and then when I knew you had your program, I was just like, well, it sounds awesome, and with all the testimonials, so that's why I decided to do it.
That's amazing. That is so cool. What would you say, if you don't mind me asking, what would you say were some of the biggest challenges that you guys were having?
Just challenges, like it was just really couldn't talk about intimacy. If it was brought up, it was just kind of a painful subject, and I don't know why. Um, and then when I did try to open up and talk about it, it didn't go very well at all. Yeah, just a lot of kind of the same thing a lot of the other guys have said, where like everything has been like really good in their marriage and like, the best of friends, but as soon as you bring up that subject, yeah, it didn't go too well. And so, yeah, I mean, that's another reason, like I was just came to the program because I was trying to like figure out myself and feelings, that I've had my whole life. And it's just like nobody can define those. And so you just kind of search out wherever you can get answers. And I mean, you definitely do um, with God's help. And so, no, it's just been a big, I mean, the program was awesome. Like, it's really great. It's not easy. There's still a lot of stuff that I'm not, haven't like worked completely through. I mean, it's changing your life, like, and how you do life, in a good way. Um, but yeah, I would say that's probably the main problems that me and my wife had. And, so yeah, I hope, I hope I answered that one long-windedly.
No, that was great. That was great, Taylor. Yeah. Yeah. So when you found the program and you were and remind me if you don't mind sharing when you did the program in terms of dates.
Yeah, it was like October of 21, and then so like early spring of 22, so not quite a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's been good. I'm not saying it's been easy since then. It's funny but not funny. I mean, a lot of the things, that maybe you said don't do, or don't say to your wife, I'd kind of test the waters and do it anyways, and it would just blow up in my face. And I'm like, yeah, I just need to do what she says, and then things will go smoother. But it really is a lot about just, and you say it all the time, just like you really have to change yourself. You cannot impose your wants and needs on your wife. Like you really got to step up. And it's not easy if you like, I don't think I've been a lazy person, but it's just to be the man that God has called you to be. If you've never really tried to step up to that 100%, I'm not saying I have, but it's difficult. So it's
Yeah.
good, but it's difficult. So
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. When you think about some of the changes that happened, sounds like changes in you,
yeah,
program. Is that what you would say?
yeah. I think, and I mean, I know like people talk about, or you guys talk about pornography a lot. And a lot of people struggle with it. I know that you said you had at one time in your life, and like
Mhm.
it's weird when I took the program, like I've struggled with my whole life. And I'm not saying I don't have temptation now, but like that was like the first thing that happened after the program was just like I was able to just kind of like stop. Like it's like I just can't do that. And then
Wow.
um
That is so
the other
great.
yeah, and then the other thing, like a really weird thing was like my eating. I know this is probably no one has ever said this, but like, and then my eating habits changed. Like, I don't know if I was trying to like, I don't know why. I just used to just like eat a lot of food, and I'm not overweight or anything. It was just like I just would I would eat a lot, and like I'm assuming I was trying to fulfill something in my life, but then my diet really just changed after that. And I know I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that on your podcast, but it was like those were the two major things. And it sounds dumb, but I mean, like
Those are
your
huge.
health is a big contributor to how you feel and how, you attack life. So like it was weird because I'd exercise 3 times a week and everything, but my eating was just not great. So and then and it's weird because my wife is healthy too, but like when she kind of saw me changing my eating habits, we've really kind of like together and for our kids just really made a bigger effort to eat really healthy. And so I don't ask me how that came about. It's just like those two things were like the biggest like immediate changes. And not that I don't have temptations in either one. I do, but it's just like I don't know, it just kind of like I got, smacked in the head or something and just said you gotta, knock it off. So
Praise
which is
God. That
tough.
is Taylor,
Yeah.
does that mean that you lost weight as well?
I lost a little bit, but like I said, I'm 6 foot tall and I'm not like, maybe 200 pounds, which I don't think that's heavy, but yeah, I mean, I lost maybe like 20 pounds and just feel
Hilarious.
better.
Yeah.
And like I
Isn't
was
that
having some
cool?
like high blood pressure issues and stuff, and like those resolved themselves. So it's,
Oh.
yeah,
Wow.
I know that's really strange, but it's just, yeah.
Actually, it's funny you should mention it. I've actually heard another gentleman similar around the eating. He's lost weight just a byproduct of
Yeah.
changing his life by God's grace in these other ways. Definitely the pornography thing, just like you said, just God just gives freedom there. And then actually the funniest one I heard recently was a guy stopped chewing his fingernails. It was just
Really?
like it was just this like nervous habit, and then this
Yeah.
anxiety is gone. Like God just
Right.
freedom in those ways.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, I've always dealt with anxiety and depression like since I've been a kid, and I mean that's definitely gotten better. It still can be difficult sometimes,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's just yeah. I think I I could be wrong. I think a lot of the people that come to your program are probably very similar to me, just in that way. I don't know that answer for sure,
Mm-hmm.
but no, those are like the two major like byproducts of the course. So like it wasn't like immediate like that happened. So it's been awesome.
That is amazing. And for it to have lasted for a year and a half
Yeah,
is just astounding.
yeah, yeah. And like I said, my thank God my wife does all the cooking and stuff, and yeah, we just really like. I mean, just when I started doing stuff, it kind of spurred her along too, and so it's just yeah, it's been good.
See, that's pretty amazing because it really is the leadership piece. Because what is leadership? Well, it's who goes first.
Yeah,
If you're the one to lead the charge, boom, it's
yeah,
a very different picture.
yeah.
Good for you, Taylor. That is awesome. I wasn't expecting that at all.
I know. I know. It's interesting, but no, it's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And then you talked about because I think that our interview today is coming about because am I remembering it correctly? You sent an email to me. I think it came and Darcy might have gotten it and flagged me on it or something, but it was about like positive, like how good things have changed
yeah.
um, in your marriage. And were there things that you were thinking of that have shifted?
I think it's just more of like what I was saying before about like how like I would listen to your podcast or I would listen to other people's podcasts about intimacy and like I really honestly had the purest of intentions of like really wanted to talk to her, about those things. And I know you said don't, like try to train your wife and which is true. And I was really trying to do that. And she pretty much was just like, you got to stop that. And it's pretty much just like, I've learned just to kind of close my mouth and like you just said, like lead by example and just um, if you're trying to be like a good man, a good person, then those things, the intimacy things kind of follow, where I think I was just like putting pressure on her when I was talking about those things. And I really, I would say like, I'm not trying to do that, but regardless, she still felt that pressure when I would talk about it. So, I've just kind of scaled it down and just like, you know, talk about it here and there, but just very sporadically if, you know, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, it's gotten a lot better with that, with the communication and stuff, because we've had some very tough conversations. And um, thank God, like my wife's always, we've always had intimacy. It's never been like one of those, a marriage where it doesn't happen. But obviously, most people come to this podcast or to you or the program because they want, a more fulfilling intimacy. And it's definitely happening. It's a slow process in my situation, but it's still going upwards. It's not like I'm flatlining. It's doing better. It just takes time, like for my situation, for me and my wife. But it's definitely getting better. But yeah, it just takes time. At least for me, it does, or for us.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, a lot of it is just lead by example, and just be a good Christian man, and then somehow those things kind of follow. It's really strange because that's not how I think about it. Probably most guys don't. So, but obviously
Right.
that's taking your course. That's you give that game plan of how to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What was maybe something in the course that surprised you, or in the program?
I think the thing that I've learned to do most was, I think it was, what is it, the thank you spiral, or the thank you,
The
is that what
gratitude spiral.
yeah. So I think like never critique especially when it comes to intimacy. Just shut your mouth, and then just, it's always thank you so much, thank you. And I think that's probably been the biggest like game changer, is just like thank you, I thank you so much. Like it's always thank you, never ever a critique, or like could you this be different or that different. No, just thank you. And I think that's probably made the biggest difference.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah, I'm still a lot of other things I'm working on, but I'm getting there.
Yeah. Oh,
So
that's great. Did she know that you did the program?
not at first, but then once I got all the way through, then I told her, and she was fine with it. And it like she actually did listen to some of your podcasts, which was awesome. And she said like you were the only one like that she felt comfortable listening to, as opposed, even if it was other Christian podcasters, like she said you were the only one that she really felt like comfortable listening to. Now, not that she listens to you on a regular basis, but it's just like she was able to listen to some. We did do like some of the first few parts of the course, like she listened to just a few of them, so that was good.
Yeah.
um but again, I've just kind of like, I'm glad she did, but I've kind of just again backed off and just take things slowly. So
Yeah,
don't,
that's
if
great.
she wants to, cool, but if she doesn't, just don't try to pressure. So yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. Do you think she would have been open to listening to my material had you not gone through the program?
um Probably not, because she wasn't really interested in listening, to any other, podcasts. So I think, maybe when she listened to just one of yours, then it was kind of like, yeah, this is okay. Um, but again, I don't, yeah, it's just one of those things right now where it's just, I don't want to pressure her to feel like she needs to listen. So yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
And I know sometimes the way it goes is like a wife would be she would have been completely turned off by any material around
yeah,
this had he not, again, kind of gone first to
right,
make it clear this is safe and it's a good, like it's changing me in a good way. It's
right.
about Jesus. It's God honoring. But that's great. Taylor, is there anything that you feel like somebody listening maybe is probably hesitant about? Maybe something that you were hesitant about
Yeah.
beforehand.
I mean, the time, it was tough. You got to put the time into it. Um, which there are video calls and stuff, and those were very honestly difficult for me to make just because I was working. But I would always listen to them later. So there is a time commitment, but whatever, that's just time. I mean, there's a money commitment, but to me, that really didn't even matter because I mean, if you can make a change in your life, I mean, who cares if it costs a little bit of money? I mean, that's kind of how I felt about it. Um, it's worth every penny. I mean, you could charge 10 times what you charge, and it's still worth it. So, I mean, I think time and money are probably the biggest problems for anyone, and they shouldn't be. It's a great program, and again, there's no one else. I mean, not that I've done a lot of searching, but to my knowledge, I haven't found anybody that has the information that you do and like the game plan that you do to really like make a change in your life. So that's good.
Oh, well, thank you, Taylor. Praise
Yeah, you're
God.
welcome.
That's so cool.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Wow. Hmm. Well, if somebody's on the fence and they're kind of like you a year and a half ago, any final
Yeah.
thoughts you've got for them? You've shared a lot, so, but any other kind of things?
Um, no, I mean it's just like anything else in life. You just have to make time for it if you really want to make the change. And it just came to the point where I was ready to, and so you make the time and you do it, and it's definitely worth it. And then what's so nice is you can always go back and go over material, which I try to do a lot. And um,
Right.
yeah, it's been great.
Oh, that's fantastic to hear.
Yeah,
Wonderful. Oh, amazing. Well,
yeah,
Taylor, would you mind kind of imagining somebody who needs some encouragement? Would you mind praying for them?
yeah. Dear Jesus, I just pray whoever's listening, who's ever not listening, um, that they will just be able to come to this program, this course. Think about making that decision to um, make that commitment to go through the course, um, and just follow it to a T, and just be ready to have their life changed. I know it's made a huge difference for me, and it's just a lifelong decision to follow Christ and be a good husband, parent, and Christ follower. So if you're on the fence, you just gotta kind of just make the decision and do it. And it's a great decision, a wonderful decision, and I don't think you'll regret it. So thank you.
Amazing. Well, thank you, Taylor. This was wonderful. It's
Yeah,
just really
you're
great.
welcome.
Yes. Awesome. Well, let me stop this. Amazing. Thank you, Taylor. My gosh. How awesome. And I think the thing that you said that was most important for anyone to hear, husband or wife, is that it really is on you to go first. That's what he talks about, is leading as the husband, to stand up and be that man that God is calling you to be. So whatever that looks like in your life, whatever this message is for you, take it and run with it for what you see that as, what you feel God is leading you to. And maybe it is to this program, because we're set up to help you. Or maybe it's to something else. Maybe it's to go ahead and take that role in the church leadership that you felt insecure about taking. Maybe it's starting that Bible study. Maybe it's starting coaching the soccer game for the kids so that they have a male role model. Maybe it's taking that wherever you feel God is asking you to stand up and lead, that you've been scared to. Stand up and do it. Get free of this addiction. It's over. And there is freedom for you. Take the initiative to get free completely. And then, while you're at it, maybe you'll lose 20 pounds. Who knows? I thought that was the funniest thing. Anyway, God bless you. Would love to help you in the program, delightyourmarriage.com/cc. Go ahead. Take us up on it. Get on that clarity call this week. God bless you. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for listening. If this has blessed you, I encourage you to take a moment and send it to a friend. Also, if you haven't yet rated this podcast 5 stars, I would love for you to do that. It will actually allow more people to find this material. God bless you, and we'll talk soon.